right.
Well, speaking of bets, me and Rob made a bet on Friday. You weren't here, Kelvin, but it's a good one.
What was this?
Rest of season passer rating.
Okay.
Caleb Williams versus Phillip Rivers. I got Phillip. He's got Caleb.
Wait. Okay. Oh, that is funny. That is actually interesting because Caleb numbers might be, he might have
his numbers will be
210 yards a game or something bigger,
right.
But
when you
that
factor
rating,
in, the completion percentage and all that stuff. So I was looking really good yesterday until the very end of the game in a Hail Mary attempt to try to salvage a win there for Indianapolis. They end up losing on the road to Seattle. Phillip Rivers throws a Hail Mary attempt that didn't even get to midfield. Intercepted, obviously, ends the game. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 120 passing yards. Even still after that loss, Colts head coach Shane Steichen says Phillip Rivers will be the starter next week. And according to him, as long as he's upright, Phillip Rivers will be the Colts QB1 rest of the season.
I'm going to say this.
What you got to say?
I hope the Colts lose every game and don't make the playoffs for this chicanery, this mockery of the game. I'm sorry. And yesterday was a perfect example of had you had just a decent quarterback, not an old man, not a grandpa playing, you might have won that game. And that was a big game to win when your defense plays that well. And I don't want to hear any he gave them a chance to win. That's what they said. He gave him a chance to win. No. Why'd they bring Phillip Rivers in? For a chance to win or to win?
Games.
Yes, to win. To win. You hold Seattle to no touchdowns at home? Kelvin, 0. And you don't win that game? I'm sorry. No, that's not good enough. And I just think to take, and again, this is the cronyism.
Mm-hmm.
If it was anybody else who was 44 and hadn't played in 5 years, you think that they would be on the roster, on the Colts roster? Anybody else?
No.
Nobody else.
We talked about that just with TJ. I mean, the quarterback is the only position that might even have a chance.
But I'm just saying this is because of the relationship, not because Phillip Rivers is going to win something for you. It's so bad. And I wasn't surprised that they didn't get much going. I know he threw the 1 touchdown, but my goodness gracious, man, they should have won that game. They needed to win that game. And now, considering where they started, Daniel Jones, who I didn't buy into, and then all of a sudden, once they stopped playing the cupcake schedule, they started losing on a regular, right? That was already happening before the injury. And now they bring in old man Rivers. I'm not surprised where they are.
Old man Rivers, a couple things for me to happen. Number one, I just saw it and I was like, hey, he was all right. And it reminded me of he's still like he was with the Chargers. Right there, things going right, can't win it. And obviously he had a heck of a career at the Chargers. But what I mean is when you kind of needed him or when you needed the team, when the team needed to do it, they couldn't get it done. And to me, that was almost like a 45, 44-year-old carbon copy of the Chargers. Staying in it, found a way to be right there in a big game in the postseason, couldn't get it done. So to me, I was like, old man River is the same old river still flowing. Reminded me of that. Also, I was looking at the Seahawks. Like, what is going on here that a 44-year-old man comes in here, hadn't played in 5 years, Rob. Like, that's not even like usually sometimes you round things up. I mean, it's only 2.5, 3. No, 5 years he hadn't played football. And all of a sudden, he's staying in the game. He goes down, get a last second, gets a field goal, got a chance to win the game. Obviously, they come down to Seahawks and finally win it. Seahawks, I thought y'all were the number 2 defense, the number 1 defense overall, number 2 points allowed, rushing yards are 6, number 1, all these huge categories for defensively. I thought you would be able to get after him, get some interceptions, get some fumbles, get more sacks. Like, I thought that's what the Seahawks were going to be doing.
Yeah, but
I thought they were going to feast on him.
Where was the quarterback, though? You can't get in the end zone?
Well, I'm getting – I know. I'm getting to that.
And there's my thing. I keep telling you about Sam Darnold. That bothers me.
And Sam Darnold, to me, on the flip side of this, the Colts have been a solid to good team throughout the year. What they're not is they're not the best team defensively. And the idea that they got a guy who isn't scoring and y'all couldn't find a way to score in the Seahawks, and again, you couldn't get after him and torture him and make life hell for him, it wasn't that bad for Phillip Rivers, to be honest with you. Like, he was like, he was okay, and he had a couple of passes there. Now, obviously, he was checked down Charlie, but I thought the Seahawks would make it a living hell. We've seen them do that to better teams, better quarterbacks, and I walked away from that a little disappointed in them. That, again, he can't run. He couldn't run when he was in his prime, so you couldn't get him off of movement and make him scramble around and get, uncomfortable.
But if you're the Colts, really, Darnold 22 for 36, 271, no picks, no touchdowns, no picks. But Riley Leonard is the guy who's been on their roster all year, the rookie quarterback for the Colts. And why haven't they done enough to coach him up so that he could do? You only scored 16 points on the road, right?
Yeah.
You didn't. Oh my God! Phillip Rivers came. He scored 31.
2 touchdowns. No.
He didn't do anything that was 16 points. You can't get a couple of field goals and 1 touchdown from the rookie. Come on, man! You're overplaying yourself. Overplaying your hand. Why haven't you coached up Leonard to be able to play in this situation? That's why you're the backup. He's been there almost all year, right, Rob G? Almost all year. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, and that's why I'm gonna rain on Phillip Rivers' parade, because had he won,
it'd have been a story. That's what this.
Rob G, am I right or wrong? Because the same thing happened with Jeff Saturday. When he won that first game, people went ballistic. They went nuts over Jeff Saturday, and then they didn't win another game.
If Phillip Rivers won, there would be instantly, by the spring, a new Netflix movie about him, or Disney. I don't know who would play him. I have to think of somebody who can play him. But he absolutely would have had a Disney movie if he won that game.
And here's the other numbers that just tells you where he is. You know when you have that fat under your arm and you can't raise it but so much, you know what I'm saying?
Those are the best people to barbecue. Okay. Yeah, that's who I want on my grill.
Rivers, I'm not saying Rivers had that, but these numbers suggest that maybe there's some rubbing going on.
Well, listen,
he was 2 for 8 for 33 yards, right? And an INT on throws of 10+ air yards.
Oh, he was checking out Charlie.
Okay, he couldn't get the ball down the field. Like seriously. That's 10 yards, not 20 yards, not 30, 10 yards, 10+.
I think that if you isolate it, I would say he played pretty well considering the circumstances. Period.
It's an L. I don't want to hear it. But it's an L.
If I say, is this an indictment on, again, the Colts for not having a better plan, or maybe the league for not having guys who are, if you're a guy who's been, say you got, released recently, you've been on and off some teams, it's an indictment on your skill set that they ain't want to bring you in. The guy is somebody that you let a 45-year-old, I know he knows the system, but that shouldn't happen. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts. And while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.